Welcome back, viewers, to Careers Bistro. My name is Monique Adams and I'm so excited for today's show. In our car interview, we'll be joined by Josephine, who is all the way from GIPF, Namibia. So keep on watching and enjoy the interview. Welcome back, viewers, to yet another exciting show of Careers Bistro. My name is Monique Adams and today I'm joined by the lovely lady, Josephine Hamwaama, who is all the way from GIPF. So hi!
Hi Monique, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much.
So how are you feeling? Like, I'm driving you around town today.
Thank you very much. It is an honor. I've always wanted to be driven. Thank you.
Okay, so Josephine, you're a strategic project officer at GIPF.
Yeah.
So for anyone that does not know what that means, what is a strategic project officer?
Okay, it's strategy and projects officer. So it's basically two spectrums, right? So you have strategy and you have projects.
Okay.
So being a strategist, right, means that you need to facilitate. So what I do is that I co-facilitate the implementation and as well as the planning, execution and reporting of the GIPF strategy. All right. Okay. And as a projects officer, what we do is that my role is actually to serve as support and as well as advise on the planning and coordinating of projects within GIPF.
Okay, interesting. So like, I want to ask, let's take it back. So we know what you're doing, we know what your responsibilities are, but like, where's Josephine from? Where were you born, raised? Where did you go to school?
Right. Very interesting. Well, if I have to talk about my background, we'll probably be talking for 2 hours, but I'll try to summarize it a little bit, right? So I was born and raised in Windhoek. I come from the dusty streets of Katatura. I say dusty because we did not have tarred roads back then. Yeah. And it is quite interesting because I have all the scars on my knees to prove for it that they were dusty. Yeah. Yes, but we played. We played, and that's what matters. Yeah. Growing up. So I went to a primary school, Martia Tisari Primary School. Love it. And well matriculated in Windhoek. Okay. I attended my tertiary education at the University of Namibia. I studied psychology. Yes, interesting they say.
Yes, very interesting.
Love the profession. Well, I still live in Windhoek. I work in Windhoek. And your second question was?
Yeah, that was it. But you mentioned, like, when you said dusty streets of Katatura, so you would say growing up there, it really contributed a lot to the person that you are today, would you say?
More so, yes, because growing up in Katatura means being streetwise, and that's very important, especially being a strategist. It has contributed immensely in my career because you can tell things and matters apart. You know what to do and what not to do, when to do it and not when to do it, and especially with who to do it and who to not do it with. So that contributed also in a sense where I would say we've got to be the receiving end of information, in a sense where you've seen what it's like to be successful, wanting to be successful, and you've also seen what it's like to not have. Yeah. You get it. Yeah. So the distinction between the haves and the have-nots is so clear when you've grown up in Katatura, because you've been at the receiving end of both. Yeah. When you know what it feels like to have and when it feels like, to not have. So we've always been those kids, that would always see people with money and flashy cars, and you're like, what did they do to get there? Yeah. You understand? And this is why I feel strategically I would like to make this interview as simple as possible, because growing up wanting to be like somebody else has always been being deliberate with getting information,
Yeah.
from the people you look up to. And most times this would be from the news and YouTube videos and Facebook and so on and so forth. And I've always used this, really intense, English language that
Yes,
you don't understand.
yeah.
So I'll do my young ones an honor and just be
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So for how long have you been with GIPF, and how's it been, being part of the GIPF family?
I've been with the GIPF for 4 years now, just over 4 years.
Okay.
And it has been exciting. I'm very fortunate to be working amongst, dreamers and doers, leaders and people
Yeah.
who really understand what it is like to impart a strategy into other people. See, the GIPF is a company which stands for members, pensioners, and I always like to put it this way in saying that we in the lives of people from the onset when they start working.
Yes.
All right, so they become our members immediately. When these people retire, they're still our members because now we have to give them retirement benefits.
Yeah.
When these people pass on, for instance, we're still in their lives in that we now serve their beneficiaries, and it goes on and on and on. So working for an organization that is so significant to the Namibian people is what truly makes me proud.
Wow.
And especially knowing that, in everything we do, in the strategy that it is we develop and craft and come up with, truly speaks to the member being the end receiver of all the ideas that we come up with in the office.
Interesting. So it sounds like you love GIPF and everything.
GIPF, and I love what I do.
You love what I do. I can really sense that with the way you speak and the way you express yourself, that there is a sense of passion with what you do. So you're not working. It doesn't feel like work when you go to work.
See, I like to put it this way, right? So it would not feel like it's work when, number one, of course, I know it sounds cliche, when you're doing what you love, right?
Yeah.
However, I do go by, I'm going to make this a bit biblical. My favorite quotes in the Bible is Colossians chapter 3 verse 23. It says that in all that you do, your hard work, what it is you do on a daily basis and how hard you work needs to be dedicated to the Lord, and your rewards come, thereafter. So I always believe that whatever it is that I am doing, right, is serving the Lord, and it's not for praise. It's not for reward from earthly things. Rather, it is totally towards being humanistic. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. So Josephine, apart from having tasks and doing things strategically, what do you enjoy doing in your free time?
Okay, what I love doing in my free time is two things.
Okay.
The first one is driving around.
Really?
Yes. So Monique, thank you. Thank you very much. I love to drive around because I've got a very curious brain.
Okay.
I always want to know what people are up to, what they are doing, in a very innocent way. When I say what people are up to,
Yeah.
So what
Innocent.
people are up to, what they are doing, what is new, what does one need to prepare for, first and foremost. The second one is spending time with family and friends, because I did come across a quote, I think when I was 13 years old. It read that in as much as we're trying to strive for success, okay, we should not forget the people in our journey that will take us there, and to always make sure that we make time for them. So I took that very seriously as a kid, and I said, okay, whatever it is I'm going to try to, I'm going to involve my family and my friends, have their support, and make sure they come with me to where it is I'm going.
Interesting. At the age of 13.
At the age of 13.
Wow. So you said you have a qualification in psychology.
Yeah.
So that does come in handy when you're like doing your work.
It does.
In what ways?
I work a lot with people. When you're a strategist, all you do basically is work with people and think about the future. So this means that you need to reinvent yourself at all times. So I'm a very big fan of transformation, and with that, it's when you're coming across somebody who is seeking for advice or support, or just, in plain terms, assistance. You need to be ready to assist them. So it comes in different forms, and it's trying to understand that who is it that I'm speaking to, and what kind of assistance do they need, because it's very different and it's unique depending on who you're working with and who you're serving. So it's a curiosity also of trying to manage relationships and how you manage relationships. So having studied psychology helps me a lot.
Interesting. So we're back at the office now at GIPF house. So before we go, and for anyone that watched this video and this interview and read your article and felt really inspired, what word of advice would you give that individual now?
Okay. So the word of advice I'll give to the individuals out there is that never self-doubt. That is very important, because growing up, we have this thing, our minds are sort of programmed, okay, and wired to feel that we need to have a formula to life. All right. So personally, I don't live by formulas, because I totally believe that my life is unique, number one, and I want everybody out there to believe that they are unique. So you need to be very purposeful as to what the monopoly of your life is. There can only be one you. All right. So, and I like to put it this way: the same way that an arm cannot walk like a leg, and nose cannot talk like a mouth. It is truly the same way when nobody else can be you and nobody else can fulfill your purpose. So you need to be very deliberate in what you do, and knowledge is power. Very important. So it does not matter how motivated you are, how inspired you are. You need knowledge to back up your desires, your dreams, and how to go about them, and just simply have a background and information as to what route to go in life and a purpose why you want to go that route. So that's what I would say.
Wow. I just felt like I just ended a podcast, of building yourself and learning all about knowledge and the importance of knowledge, and it's in a nutshell. But Josephine, thank you so much.
Thank you
for taking time of your day to join me in the car.
All right. This was a very fun ride, by the way. Very fun.
So if this was Uber, rate it out of a 5. 5 star. There you hear it, guys.
Yes.
Why, thank you, and
right.
I'm just wishing you nothing but the best and amazing stuff. All positive vibes your side.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy life to the fullest, and care for one another. Thank you.
Care for one another and spread love. All right, bye.
Bye.
Well, guys, that has brought us to the end of today's show. My name is Monique Adams, and this was Careers Bistro. Don't you worry, we will be back again next week, Friday, same time, different place, different people. It's the Friday, it's a weekend, so enjoy your weekend and stay safe.